been a long time. Been a few weeks is all. I'm still going to give you some pictures to show you what I've done over here on for the Lottie Dolls decorations and the Misfit toys. I wish I had that kind of editing devices that I could do a little bit of work and then show it, or splice it in and show a bunch of different things going on. But maybe eventually I'll learn how to do that. I could have come on and talked it many times, but I just, always seem to keep repeating myself, and I know I've said that before. But, right now, there's a whole mess of people that are waiting for the end of times. There's like these, all these evangelists and all this have said, oh, you don't know the time that it's going to happen. Only our God knows, only Lord knows, not even the angels in heaven knows. Well, that's because this idea of a rapture doesn't have anything to do with someone coming down and killing you, and taking the saved people and all these righteous motherfuckers out there that are saying, oh, well, they're going to come take me, and they're going to leave you, and I'm going to go on to heaven, and I can leave this old shitty little world behind. Well, I just said, here's the memo, you guys. I said, it ain't happening. Not in a group sense. First off, if you wanted to use a date, if you want to believe that 2016 was the day and we only have like so many days left, 20-something days left, and we got to get our rapture on as soon as possible, that's a little stupid, This woman was saying she was spoke to by the Lord, by Jesus. Jesus was telling her, hey, it's coming towards the end. You guys better get together. It's the end of the year. Who can tell you? Jesus isn't going to tell someone. Certainly it's not going to come in and single out this one girl, amongst all the others who are being singled out too. Say Jesus told them it's going to happen now. Well, how many different Jesuses are there? How many different end times? I'll tell you how many there are. There's only one. And one Jesus can't talk to. You cannot have a conversation with this Jesus. None that you're going to remember. The idea is that the flesh and anything that you do with the flesh, if you're hearing something or tasting and feeling God, good luck with that. He operates in the silence, in the darkness, and in the quietness of our mind. And our mind can't be in it. Us, our skin and our flesh and our mind, the carnal mind, which we operate out of, is not allowed in heaven. So when someone says they spoke to God, good luck. We could speak. I speak to him all the time, but to say what he told me that, I better stop eating ice cream and stuff like that. Come on. It's stupid. He's only going to speak to you in some kind of symbolic speak. All right. Now, real quick, in the Old Testament, there's a couple of words that talk about what's considered the end times. All right. Which all these guys are on. They're hyping on. Well, I will tell you that they're wrong, because the translation in these Bibles is wrong, and they did it on purpose. And they did change this during the time when these new books came up with the Episcopals. There's this new the Common Book, the Common Prayer. Well, anyways, a bunch of scholars got together and decided that we need to put a little pen and ink change to the Bible, and they did. Now, this is true. And there's this word in here that's called PRIOUSIA, or whatever, PEROUSIA, PRIOUSIA. And there's another word in there right after. It's called SUNTELIA, But anyways, it's not end days or end times. It's the end of the age. All right, it's the end of the age. And if you were going to say that, Jesus and rapture and all was going to happen at the end of the age, that would be during the cusp between Pisces and Aquarius, and that happened in 2012. All right, and to tell you the truth, another truth, all of Christianity is banking on this resurrection of the Christ, or the reinvention of Christ, or the injection of Christ, during this time. Now, it says that Jesus has asked, he says, what are we going to do? When will we see you again? He says, I'll be with you till the end of the age. And he talks about going to into a house that's got a man carrying a pitcher of water. You're to go into his house, to the upper room upstairs and to the right, and here I am. So it just makes it easier to get to him at this time, because this age of Aquarius is run by Gaia's real husband in this cosmic world, and that has to do with Uranus. All right. So when Uranus comes back in to reclaim his bridegroom, you got to understand all of this stuff is cosmic. You know, that it's just easier now to communicate, whereas before something cut off, the direct communication to you. Even religion and the stories are all cutting you off from the direct truth of things, so that you have to go like I do and go inside and find out what the truth is, and then it tells you, you know. Your rapture comes anytime you've had enough. You know, my rapture was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. But the thing is that that's your initial visit to come back home, to be, you know, there's no second coming. It's you. The story is you coming back to God, and it doesn't mean going to visit some preacher or some church, joining up with some congregation. It means to turn within yourself and find the Lord, and the information and all of the knowledge and everything is by going within yourself, and that can happen anytime you want. So you get your rapture over with now, instead of you waiting for these guys. It's like some kind of clickbait. You know, Jesus is clickbait. Oh, we're going to have an end. Oh, yeah, well, let's go find out when our end is. You know, yay, let's jump on the bus and go and run with Jesus. You know, come on. It's clickbait, you know. They've been waiting for this for a long time, only because they've been reading it wrong. And because they outlawed, you know, feminine energy and the single eye and anything that has to do with meditation. They don't let you, don't listen to Buddha and those people of Krishna. Oh my God, you know, they're all pagans and stuff like that. Well, to be a pagan is to be closer to the Lord. I'll tell you that. Because they would say that, you know, the idea of being separated from God, not having a piece of Him in you, that's blasphemous to believe that you have to go to a preacher or to a church or to someone else to go and get this Lord. That is what the pagans used to say about the Christians. They'd say, what? You mean I've got to pay you now for my Christianity, my spirituality? I can't have my own? I have to go to you? And Pope says it too. Pope said a couple of years ago, you can't have a personal connection with the Lord. It's too dangerous. What would be too dangerous to have your own connection? It says right there in the book, it says if you ask your father for a fish, he's not going to hand you a serpent. Now, that's ridiculous. They got you all wrapped up in all this stupidity, and all you really have to do is sit down, be quiet, do as it tells you, look inside, find this place inside of you, practice, knock on that door. Knock on the door that that you're trying to open, and that's the right hemisphere of the brain. And the only way you can do that is by shutting off the other side. All right, and don't come back saying I spoke with God, because it'll be just a lie. You know, it's the spiritual talk. The spiritual side of you is, oh yeah, I'm gonna have it. You know, but it's not. It's just not. All right. If I haven't seen you guys in a while, I'm going to spend some time chatting about this, but I want you to look up the words that they have in there, and it's the SUNTELIA, you know, AION. That means the end. It's the sun. It's the end of an age. It doesn't mean it's the end of time, because a whole nother mess of time is showing up right in front of us. All right, a whole nother thing, and Jesus and all this Christianity stuff has been for this age of Pisces. The whole thing centers around duality and Pisces. The fish. The fish is about the mind. When you're supposed to toss your nets over to the right side, is to gain spiritual nourishment. and it tells you where to get it from. All right, and so right now that conduit it's open. So, you know, go up there knocking. The story says about the persistence, that neighbor that keeps coming knocking on the door and wanting the stuff. That's this idea of trying to get up there. It's not easy. Hell no, or you know, it would be practiced. If there was more people practicing, how wonderful this place would be. You know, because this energy that you can obtain actually helps to negate the lower conscious world and takes away some of that off of you. Is what they say, when it takes away the sins of the world. You know, and whenever 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, he is present. All right, so that means number 5. So whenever you can join the 5 together and then put them to sleep, that's your 5 senses taking the 5 wounds. You gather those guys together, put them away, and then you're in his presence. Remember, there can't be any part of you, no flesh and blood, no nothing. This belongs to the lower conscious place that is dubbed hell, and it also carries the, you know, the master called Satan. All right, this isn't a bad thing. It's just what happens. You can make it bad, but it really is just your skin and your desires and your wants and your emotions. Everything to do with living is his. But your spiritual side of you, the spiritual side of you, in the inside, the part that you don't know hardly nothing about, and it's invisible, that is only accessible through meditation and the single eye, that belongs to the divine. All right? Now, if you don't ever do that, that shows you that you are mostly running from your carnal side of your mind. And if you can't get to the right side of your brain every now and then, which cleans out the right side, puts you into a better mode of things, then you're nothing but serving the carnal mind. That's your master. You're the baker. So if you want to go in and serve the Lord, then you want to be a server, then you are going to quiet down, shut up, and you're going to go inside and commune with him. And you're going to try, and you're going to keep this up and keep this up and keep this up and believe that you are seeing him or finding him by looking and seeing beautiful things happen into your world. Things, just wonderful things start to come to life, and things start working more beautiful and in synchronicities. That's how you tell. You don't ask for anything but a clear mind, and you get your renewal. The whole book is all about gaining the new life and the new mind. It's all about changing the way you think, changing what you are getting out of this rut and this business of religion and crying and keeping yourself low, you know, that you can't be high, that you can't be with the Lord, and that you can't be in it. And they tell you you can, you are, and you are me. You were made for me. You were made in my image. All of these things are you, and you are being hidden from it. So you need to get past all of that crap, and all of this stuff will then unfold in your mind, and the whole world will first be like shit, and then it'll start to shine, because you just have to start using your own. That's what it means to have your own discernment. But anyways, just to let you know that right off the bat, the whole thing that hinges on rapture, end of times, is a physically changed an edit in our Bible by human beings so that they could keep this storyline going. All right? And it has nothing to do with the end of the time. It means it's the beginning of another age. Anyways, I love you. I'll be back to you soon, and I'll come back with some video of the party tomorrow at this at La Di Da, and I'll give you some shows you what my stuff wound up looking like and where it wound up at. All right, well, best to you, and I'll talk with you soon. Thanks.